Hello, I'm Clayton Vandiver Jr. The university uses my first name, Albert. I try not to. I live in beautiful sunny Northeast Florida where everyone in New York wants to snowbird to each year until they retire. And yes, snowbird is both a verb and a noun to those of us Floridians. The best thing about living just a few states away from Lynchburg is the ability and the intention to show up in 3 years for a media worthy graduation ceremony where my wife and I both hope to receive our PhDs at the same time. Which is a perfect segue to talking about my family, hobbies, interests. My wife is awesome, and she is a licensed clinical social worker concurrently in her PhD at Liberty. We have 3 kids, 2 are grown, and our youngest is in the 7th grade at Liberty University Online Academy. 1 granddaughter, almost 2 years old, and all of these wonderful people under the same roof with me. I'm interested in all things technology. I'm a film fanatic. I love British humor and European ancestry. I'm a pilot, love all things aviation. And swimming, tennis, Howard Hughes, Errol Flynn, John Denver, some of the biggest influences in my life. But the biggest influences, my filmmaker dad and my musical prodigy and legendary choral music director sister out in Southern California. I have a great love of travel and our national park system, and Shriners and Freemasons are a big part of my life. They are not at all what some would make them out to be. And also, my group Liberty Express, a bluegrass gospel quartet where I sing, play guitar and banjo, and pretend to be John Denver on occasion. The specific degree that I'm pursuing is a PhD in communication. This is to complement my MEd, Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction with a specialty in technology, and my MBA with a concentration in HR management. Now that brings to mind a question I'd like to ask my cohort, purely out of curiosity and just as academic curiosity, if their graduate degrees leading to this course of study are as diverse as my own, will it serve to benefit or perhaps even distract or hinder them moving forward in their opinion? I'm just curious. And, I have so many degrees at this point. I'm reminded of one of my favorite and very pertinent quotes from a film, Sabrina, which was spoken by Julia Ormond to Harrison Ford when she said, "Sometimes more isn't better, Linus. Sometimes it's just more." My current job, I'm semi-retired after 40 years in the radio, television, and film industries. 27 of them were spent in a broadcast newsroom for 5.5 continuous hours of broadcast morning news at the region's leading station. I got up at 2 a.m., 5 days a week, for 27 years, and after that morning newscast ended, went off to my full-time job, which was running a film production company. And then in the evenings, a few nights a week, I served as an evening professor for 2 universities over the last 14 years, facilitating a variety of undergraduate courses in media, digital animation, humanities, communication, film studies, and critical thinking. I currently sit on the board of directors of a museum, a library, a civic association, and a nonprofit end-of-life information and guidance resource that my wife and I recently began. In other words, I stay pretty busy for a gentleman without a steady paycheck. Of the classes that I have left, which is all of them, I'm planning, after I achieve this terminal degree in my lifelong field of endeavor, just beginning that journey with this class, I hope to be teaching communication courses at local universities, perhaps even online, in my specialties, which are film studies and media influence. My overall goal with retirement is to never retire and never stop learning. Or as Tim Allen said as Commander Quincy Taggart in Galaxy Quest, I'll never give up, never surrender, This degree some would call a bucket list item for me, but those who know me better would be quick to say that if anyone can put to use this higher level knowledge and critical thinking on a subject crucial to our cultural and societal survival, then it would humbly be me. I would wager I'm like many in my cohort who intend to use this Bible-based wisdom to generate a paradigm shift in their own professional, personal, and even internal communication for the rest of their lives. What I would like to learn from this course? Well, of course, how to succeed over the next 3 years, how to fine-tune my interactions with the Liberty Online interface and introduce myself to the foundational material that I will use throughout this journey toward my PhD, one chapter at a time. I also hope to find a means to apply biblical principles to my communication focus, that being the broadcast and film media, where the mainstream channels seem to have departed from biblical teaching, principles, and moralities at an alarming rate and for a multitude of reasons in our recent history. While I have been taught that there are more broadcast radio stations dedicated to religious programming worldwide than any other genre, I've always felt that there may still be a lack of quality content to complement that quantity of programming. Perhaps I will feel led to explore that disparity in my pursuit of greater understanding of my industry. I remember hearing a long time ago in film school that visual media is the most powerful form of communication ever devised by man. I can't remember after 40 years who that quote came from, and my efforts to Google it have been fruitless, but I've found it to be well supported and true in my many long years of work in the industry. It is an amazingly powerful tool, the visual media, and its ability to influence us and communicate with us. One that is most often misunderstood and very much underappreciated for all the subtle and even not so subtle influence that it wields. And with that in mind, my very best wishes for success for all of my cohort, and as another entertainer, television and film star used to say each week in closing his classic television shows, may God bless.